Hey guys, I'm live. So first of all, to all of the people who tune in, the couple of people that tune in, sorry for being or for not putting out any videos last week. I kind of needed a break, and I felt like I was, whether it was true or not, I felt like I was talking a lot about the same stuff, or maybe just talking too much. I don't know, but I need a little bit of a break, so I took off last week. I was going to make a video or two and then decided, you know what, I'll just take the week off, see what happens. But yeah, I wanted to start back up again on Monday today and talk about something that just jumped out at me today as I was repricing some stuff. I was repricing a bunch of like newer things. Hey man, how you doing? Good to see you too. Repricing some items I had, books and CDs, mostly a few audiobooks, the newer stuff that hit the warehouse recently over the past couple of weeks. And a lot of it, I am the lowest or one of the lowest prices in a place where I feel like it's good to make some profit and to get the sale quicker or sooner than later, basically. But at any rate, I was going through them and then, just seeing what prices are the competition and see where other sellers are and that type of thing. No, no, Terry, no big deal, huge deal or anything like that. But just taking a break. But yeah, so I was going through repricing and I was just noticing that there was just a lot of, especially for the books. Now, this doesn't mean that this does not happen with CDs, but especially with the books, of which I have a lot less of in my inventory, but it's bigger than it's been in the last 6 months or so. I have more books than I have in the recent past. I noticed that there's a lot, just a lot of price changes since I sent the book in, since I listed it and then sent it in and then it went live. It varies how long it takes to get there, but it could be a couple days, could be a week or a week and a half, depending on where it's going and how fast they are checking it in. And I understand that prices change and new people come on the listing, but it was just kind of, and this isn't new information for I'm sure a lot of you, but it always kind of just strikes me as pretty amazing how the mixture of sellers, especially for books, that tank the price or that undercut or whatever it may be, which is why I named this the title of this. I was going to say the title of this book, of this video, "Why I Struggle Selling Books with FBA," which might be a little dramatic, but I think it's pretty accurate for me. So what I find with books, because the category is open and anybody can sell, and again, I've been selling mostly CDs lately, probably over this year and into last year, mostly majority CDs for a while. It's been a while since I only had books or mostly books in my inventory, let's just say. So I remember what this was like before, but it's kind of reintroduced it to me. That there's just a lot of new sellers, but there's also, right, yeah. But there's also a mixture of new sellers, and then there's the medium to large to mega sellers. There's kind of, I would say people, sellers that have like 5 to 10,000 feedback ratings. That's pretty big. They've been doing it a very long time, or they have a big operation. And then there's the ones that get into tens of thousands and higher. And it just seems like a lot of the new sellers don't really know what they're doing, with the pricing in general. And some of them just seem like they don't realize that they're going to lose money. And I don't care if they got the book for free, they still have to pay to ship it in. And if they're not pricing it right, they're gonna lose money or be lucky if they break even. And then a lot of these bigger sellers, it just doesn't seem like there's any logical reason. What did I write down here? Logical reason to miss out on on more money. Basically, I understand people have different kind of the justification for a lot of this is that people have a lot of the bigger sellers have a different model because they sell quantity and volume. So that's why a lot of them price lower. They price to move the items, but there's really, which is fine in certain cases, but most cases I find that it's not, just because if there's more money to be made and you can realistically, as an FBA seller, sell an item for a couple dollars more, and it shouldn't take that much more time, then why not do it? Why miss out on a couple bucks, and why potentially drag down all the FBA offers down to where you are or closer to where you are, and then which then makes it much harder, or takes longer for everyone else to sell it. I understand. I guess people don't care about any other sellers, but I mean, I guess that's what the logic would be. Well, this is my business and I have to feed myself and blah, blah, blah. You can still feed yourself, though, by following the sort of the rules of, pricing it a little more realistic in terms of not going too high. Because I see people, a lot of FBA sellers, pricing stuff too high, whether it's a book or CD. I see it fairly often with CDs where they price, like the MF. There's let's say there's not that many copies of Merchant Fulfilled. Maybe like they're going for $6-7, and then all the FBA offers are starting at like $20. And let's say this is an item that's selling consistently, but not a ton. And I feel like that's too high. That you might get the sale as an FBA seller, but it'll probably take way too long, and longer than I'm comfortable with. So to me, that doesn't make sense. But some people do that. They just wait for somebody who's going to come along and buy the item, the book or the CD or whatever, at that much higher markup, because of all the convenience and benefits of it being a prime offer, and also maybe that it's in very good or like new condition. But even just very good, I feel like a lot of times there's just way, way too much of a gap there between the Merchant Fulfilled and the FBA offers. What am I saying? Yeah, so let's see what Sarah said. Refers to it as the out of this next sale, and as addition to being the next sale no matter what. The cult of the next sale. Yeah, and I think a lot of the bigger sellers would say, well, we're just churning it out. We're sending in 1,000, 2,000 items a week, and we just want to sell them. If I make $2 less than I could have, oh well, at least I got my money back, et cetera, which is fine if all you care about is yourself, but in your business, which I guess you're supposed to in this, in capitalism, but also it just within the ecosystem, Amazon ecosystem, FBA ecosystem, for third-party sellers, it seems to make more sense to me for everybody to kind of get in line. So if the prices are, if there's if there's already somebody at a good price of $10.99 for a CD, or let's just say for a CD, and you have a very good copy and the item is selling, it's probably going to not take too long for it to sell. So instead of undercutting it by $1 or $2 or $3 just to get the next sale, why not at a bare minimum match it, or go a little bit higher because you have a better or a very good condition versus a good condition, and vice versa. You can go a little lower, which is what I usually do, which makes sense. Is how I learned it with books when I started with books. It's not just the nice thing to do. It just makes sense that we all can potentially make that little, FBA bump, which is, a lot of people say it's shrunk, and maybe it has, but it's still there. Not as big as it used to be, but it's still there, and it's still what pushes a lot of people to do FBA and make good money at it, and be consistent with it. So it just kind of, the cult of the next sale. I mean, I think the excuse for a lot of these bigger sellers, the newer sellers, I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're just freaked out and they just want to sell it as soon as possible because they want to get their money back. I don't know, but the people that have been doing it a long time, a lot longer than me, or at least have sold way more items than I have. I only have 436 feedback ratings, but I've been doing it for 4 years, and I've sold a lot, like probably, way over 10,000 items, but probably, I don't know how many, 15, 20,000 items. I mean, over the last 4 years. So I've sold a lot. Definitely over 10,000 items, but nothing compared to somebody that even has 5,000 feedback ratings. I mean, they've probably sold 100,000 items. I don't know. I have no idea exactly, but then you talk about someone who's got tens of thousands, 25,000 feedback ratings. They've probably got a warehouse and a huge, huge or large operation, probably with workers and everything. Yeah, yeah, outside of textbooks for sure. But even with CDs, you know, if the lowest if the bottom feeders, the merchant fulfilled mega sellers like Declutter, and they have like a couple accounts there, and there's a couple other guys. Some of them are Goodwill, and other people are down there at like $4 and change for a CD. I can still sell mine for $9 or $10. Um, it depends on what it is, you know. But I'm just saying, like that's still a $5-6 bump that I can get there. Pretty consistently. Again, it depends on the specific situation and the rank and how often it's selling and how many copies and blah blah. But I'm just saying that that's very common. So for sure, when it comes to CDs and definitely for books as well. Fabian has a good question, but I'll get to that in a second. Maybe somebody will answer you there. But uh, yeah, I was just oh right, and the other one that I'm noticing with CDs, so because I got out of books or stopped doing books as much as I did before, I didn't see Jensen on too many of my listings, but now on CDs, I'm seeing Jensen pop up a lot, and I just and understand I was just repricing like a few dozen items, and I saw them on like 4 or 5 different listings, and they're just massacring the listing. I mean, they're just going so low that it makes no sense. I don't care how many items they sell every day, how many items they ship in, how large their inventory is. If it's 50,000, 100,000, it makes no sense to do that. It makes no sense. You're just it's illogical to me. Um, uh, yeah, I'll see what you guys are talking about. I'll talk about that in a second. I want to talk about that for sure. Um, so you know, Jensen is thrown around a lot because they're such a big seller, and they are just notorious for taking a legitimate, you know, $10 CD and just selling it for 650, or you know, $18 book or $15 book and selling it for $7 or whatever, and just making next to nothing. And I don't care if they're getting their books donated to them for free, if they're doing bulk and they're super cheap and they're only like a penny each. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? Anyway, whatever. It's kind of like banging your head against the wall. And Jensen is never going to come on here, I don't think, and explain it. Well, our business role model is just we just you know we want to sell and we want to sell quickly. Yeah, but why do you have to drop so low? You could drop $1 under the $10 CD, but why do you drop down to 650 or you know 5.99? I mean, it makes no sense to me. Why are you going to make 50 cents or $1 when you can make 3.50, $4 off of one CD, and still sell it pretty quickly? It's not like you're going to have to wait. Oh, now you got to wait an extra month because you priced it another $2 or $3 higher. It's not like that. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe Jensen. I mean, it's more than likely that Jensen, yes, for sure, has a repricer. I'm sure they even have somebody who I don't know if it's their only job to deal with the repricer, but anyway. Uh, so anyway, so you guys are talking about. I'll hop off that topic because you guys are talking about something that is important. So Fabian says his sales were down last week. Only one sale today. He's got almost 1,500 inventory. Wow, good size there. I used to low daily sales like this. Anyone else experiencing the same thing the last week or so? So I would say between eBay and Amazon, I have seen sales slow down a bit. eBay just almost flatlined for me until this weekend. So I had between Friday night and like yeah, this morning, I guess, I had like 9 eBay sales, and I have over 500 items. So that was like a sudden spike for me. And today I had like 3 sales so far. We'll see. And I sold a couple book lots. Now, when it comes to Amazon, let me see what I have here. I pulled it up. So let me see as of today. Oh, crap. As of yesterday, I had 8 sales. Let me log in. But today, so far, I have 7 sales. Yesterday, I had 8. And then, so what was that? So Saturday, I think Saturday was really bad. Saturday I only had 4 sales, 3 books, 1 CD. Let's see, on Friday, 7 sales. Yeah, so for me, yeah, it's been down a little bit on Amazon, but not down to the point of like 1 sale or no sales in a day or something like that. Let's see. I don't think Jensen necessarily even know it. Normal for the sales to be down, but work on your metrics as you tend to win the buy button more with better metrics. Yeah. 80 went to stranded inventory. That's crazy. These are the kind of things that will drive you crazy as a new seller or even as an older seller, Fabian. I'll say for sure, just hang in there. I mean, you've only been doing it for 8 months, so you haven't even gone through the whole year, the whole cycle. But it makes sense that if well, you're doing DVDs too, though, right? But if it's book sales, I think in general will slow down. Excuse me, a little after back to school, and it seems like. Yeah, maybe because of the hurricane, North Carolina. It seems like after school there's a slowdown. You know, there's a slowdown for school-related books, but just in general, I mean, just seeing how eBay slowed down for me and Amazon, it seems like, you know, people are sort of readjusting from the summer to sending their kids off to college or off to school. I mean, sending my daughter off to kindergarten, and you're kind of getting used to the new schedule and the new life after the summer and that sort of thing, especially if you have kids. If you don't have kids, it doesn't apply. But even if you don't have kids, I guess maybe, you know, getting back into the swing of things after summer. And it's still pretty hot here, but I guess the weather starts to change, you know. Well, it does. And maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But for sure, my sales have been down a little bit. But rest assured, they should come back. I would say continue to reprice a little bit and just. Oh, okay. Terry said his life is equally boring throughout the year. Okay. Well, yeah, so it depends on everybody, but I think in general, maybe, you know, just people aren't spending as much the first couple weeks of September because of the readjustment, you know. But I think definitely holidays and fourth quarter are in the back of people's are starting to head to the front of their minds, and they're starting to think about that kind of stuff, because now in the stores all you see is Halloween stuff. I couldn't believe, you know, September 1st, beginning of September, there was Halloween stuff and all over the place. And so if you have any Halloween type of stuff you can sell either on Amazon or eBay, now would be a good time to start thinking about selling that. I've been collecting, stacking up CDs that are Halloween themed, that have like spooky music and that sort of thing. And I'm going to start selling off some lots of those on eBay. I don't know. I don't know if I should start doing that now. Maybe I'll test it and do one, see how it goes. But yeah, for sure, it should get better. If I remember correctly, October was not that great for book sales, but I don't know. I mean, it all depends on the types of books you have and where you're pricing stuff and that type of thing. But it should get a lot better for sure. Terry said he only had 3 sales today, but with the $30 ASP. Well, that's great. My average sale price is definitely not that high, especially when I'm selling certain CDs. Yeah. That was basically the point of my video, but I think that I got a little like frustrated looking at all those listings, or some of those listings for some books I sent in, because there were just so many people that were undercutting my price, like way under. new sellers to medium sellers to large and mega sellers, and it was just like pulling my hair out, and I didn't want to go way down there with them on most of them, so I'm gonna have to wait it out. Depends on the item though. You know, if it's something that is like, there was one book in particular that has a million rank currently and sells steady but not that often, probably, you know, once or twice a month or something like that. And there was like 2 people that undercut my price um, in between me sending the item in and it going live. And I'm pretty sure they weren't on the listing when I sent it in. Although if they were, I don't think they were though, because one of them was I mean, they could have just undercut me after my item went live, either manually or it could have been their repricer. I don't know, but that kind of stuff, and just equaling, you know, just seeing with Jensen and some of these big sellers who just seem to love either through their repricer, which I'm sure is what it is, or I doubt it's not manual. I mean, they're repricing for sure. Just seem to love to undercut. Thrift books is worse, yeah. Could be an anomaly, but I've noticed that a lot of my sales occur with books that just hit the warehouse and was listed. So my takeaway is if I should. I've heard that from other people. Oh, 1 box a day. Wow. That's, yeah, I don't, but I would say at least if you're doing a shipment a week, excuse me, at least 1 or 2 shipments a week, which I don't do. What I'm doing now because of the split shipments is I'm doing bigger ones. I'm almost done putting together my next CD shipment, but I also have accumulated a bunch of books, probably like 70 books. So it'll probably be like close to 300 items I'll be sending in, and it'll undoubtedly be split even through private. Is it private? Yeah, private mode on Exceller list. So yeah, that's good. Michael says 150 books a week, plus books a week. But yeah, I think, I mean, that's what I used to do before all the split shipments. Is I used to do like 30, 40 books at a time. As soon as I would have that many, I would just do a shipment, and I would end up doing probably like 2 shipments a week. And I was consistent with that. And it seems to help. I mean, it could be it could be made up, but it seems to be that if you consistently ship, that your sales, so it seems to affect sales in general, like your metrics or your account somehow, but also just that you're always getting fresh new stuff in. And so if you send in 40, 50 items, maybe 10% of them will sell immediately, 5% of them, whatever, within the same day or 2 of hitting the warehouse. And then within the same week, you'll sell a bunch of them, and then it'll slow down. But if you keep on hitting the warehouse with new stuff, for sure, you're going to see steady sales. Yeah, Terry says getting into board games where there's less competition. That's probably one. Well, CDs, but also vinyl is a good one. Even so, I'm not sure if you can't sell CDs. Does that mean you cannot sell vinyl either, because they're both in the music category, and the music category is closed off? I don't know if any of you guys know that for sure, but if you can't do vinyl or CDs, then it doesn't matter. But if you can do CDs, then vinyl is a really good option if you have the patience for it and you're willing to invest in buying like all the stuff you need, the proper transparent little baggies and the suffocation label. And it's probably a good idea, unless you're really good with vinyl, to get a turntable to test the ones that look like they have a lot of scratches or have some issues. It just depends, but that's another one to get into. Yeah, so there's definitely some stuff where it's probably less competition. It's just a matter of finding it out. But it's about, yeah, where can you make more money, but also what do you like to do? I mean, if you don't like board games, you shouldn't do it. If you do like the idea of selling board games or vinyl or maybe another category outside of media, then you should definitely do it. Okay, Amazon, yeah, is hell on sellers now. Yeah, I think Amazon has cracked down big time when it comes to they basically have figured out a way to get rid of people who were just using their warehouses as storage for the most part, and only selling a small percentage monthly of their items because Amazon was storage fees were so cheap. So they decided to punish us, those that wanted to do that, which was most of us, which is why so many people got out of it, and went to either merchant fulfilled or eBay, or just stopped doing it altogether, stopped reselling on Amazon. So for sure. You used to be able to list things for a penny, then make 178 off it. Oh, you're talking about merchant fulfilled. Yeah. Yeah, they don't really want that anymore. They kind of want, it seems like most people doing merchant fulfilled are bigger sellers for sure. The first month of long-term storage fees, I can't remember. So this month, the second month though, I think I only paid a couple dollars. The first month I don't think was very much either. I don't remember exactly, honestly, but I think it was pretty low because I sold off some of it and then I got rid of a bunch of it. That first go through on the first month really got rid of a lot of that older stuff that was needed to go and was just sitting there, was not going to sell, and I had to get rid of it. So I think basically I was left with the better stuff that's actually selling, and I got down to the stuff that I've been better about sending in. So whatever's left and is not selling is either has less to do with my poor sourcing abilities, and more to do with maybe the demand going down or the people tanking the price, that type of thing. Things out of your control that for whatever reason the data didn't seem to indicate. So so yeah, I mean, this time this long-term storage fee was really low. I think it was like a couple dollars, maybe like $3 or something. Yeah, so it wasn't so it wasn't too bad. Oh, look, I got another sale. So I'm up to 8 sales today. See, that's the thing. I don't know if that has to do with just that I was going to make those sales anyway, or if I reprice those items. I mean, I guess I could go into pending and see, but I got 5 CD sales and 3 book sales today, so it's not bad. And it's only it's not even 6 o'clock here yet, so chances are pretty good. Chances are pretty good that I'll do more than 8. Maybe I'll get to 10. I like to try to get on average to 10 or more a day, just because that tends to be where my sell-through, I like to have my sell-through rate. So right now I have, how much in inventory? Oh, look, 800. So with that sale, I have 899 items in inventory. Yeah. So it's, wow, that's crazy because I was like over 950 or 960 or something a couple weeks ago before all this stuff hit. But I'm gonna send in, and like I said, I don't know. Let me show you. Whoops. You can see all that. Got all those CDs, and then 2 boxes of books, and then I have 2 bags of books out in the living room, and then I have another a bunch more CDs to go through. Terry said 307 here. Is that your long-term storage fee? what do you call it? Oh, sorry, inventory. Yeah, I was gonna say that was a big that would be a big fee. Um, yeah, well, I mean, it's not. Yeah, I mean, Terry talks about this a lot, and I agree. It's not always about inventory size. It's about your average sale price. It's more about your average sale price and your sell through rate. For me, it's volume plus sell through rate, and I don't mean like a huge volume, but I mean a good percentage of what I consider to be relatively small inventory. I mean, I have 899 technically as of right this moment. But selling through about 30% of that is pretty good. I try to do about 10 a day. As you can see, or as I was telling you, September has been a little slower, but hopefully it'll pick up. I mean, 8 today is pretty good. So, oh, I totally agree. Michael says grow it as much as you can. That's why I'm trying to get out my next shipment. Hopefully, to be realistic, it's probably not going to happen until the beginning of next week because we're going on a mini vacation, taking the kids on Thursday and Friday, and we'll be back on Sunday to San Diego. So there's only 2 more days left, and I'm probably not going to be able to get a shipment out, especially that big one that I'm doing. So it'll probably be beginning of next week. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably have about 200 CDs roughly, maybe a little less. And then I'll have about 70 or so books. Tomorrow, I may or may not source at a thrift store, but if I don't, I'll still have a good amount. Whoa. Terry says, wish me luck. I'm heading out tomorrow on a 3 or 4 day sourcing trip. Wow. Like as in you're gonna drive somewhere, stay in a hotel and then or motel or whatever, and then keep driving kind of a thing. Like on the road sourcing. That seems like that would be an adventure. Oh, cool. Well, yeah, good luck. I think that's smart, especially you've talked about how you don't have that many thrift stores and book sales near you, so you have to drive far. I mean, if you can do a 3 or 4 day trip and find enough to pay for, I mean, clearly pay for the trip and more, hopefully much more, and you find some good spots, then it would be worth it to do that once in a while for sure. If you can continue to have that high average sale price and find enough items, I mean, in 3 or 4 days, hopefully you can find a good amount of good stuff. That's something that's really possible with books and CDs and well, books, even just books, is you can take a trip and along the way just hit up thrift stores and depending on where you are and all that, you might be able to get some estate sales and garage sales and who knows, and you can probably more than pay for the trip and make some profit as well, just depending on what you find. It's not something I've done, but I think a lot of people do that, not just with books, but with a lot of different stuff when it comes to doing FBA. But I totally agree with what Mike said about December and January. I mean, December can be really big if you get a lot of stuff in. I mean, I'm at 900 items in inventory. I'm going to send in close to 300, maybe a little less. So by the time those hit, yeah, I should be over 1,000 again in inventory. What I would like to do is order like 4 more Gaylords of CDs and get through them fast, just to get in everything. Because I agree, the holidays can be really good. December could be amazing. If I got up to like 2,000 or more in inventory, I could probably do really well in December. And then January is good for the first couple weeks in terms of people still spending money, spending the money that they got as presents and that type of stuff, gift cards and whatnot. They tend to do that, tends to leak into January. And then of course, if you've got books, which I do, and I'll continue to send in, just not as many as CDs, then January will be really good for back to school and books in general. Michael said, last sourcing trip, I got a huge chunk of books, I guess, by refreshing the free section on Craigslist. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, so you found books for free. I haven't really checked that's not true. I've checked a couple times the free section, but I haven't done it consistently. Wow. I mean, that's sort of that's like a way to do it. A lot of things. Oh wow, textbooks. It's crazy how people just give away books. Yeah. Uh, I mean, what I find in the Gaylords, there's such good stuff in there. You know, not all of it is good for Amazon, but there's just good stuff. You know that people would buy in a store setting, for sure. Whether it's kid stuff or cookbooks or certain nonfiction titles that people would buy on all different types of categories. Um, what do you call it? People, yeah, that's what's recommended by a lot of people is to, like have a business card, say, I'll haul your books away, or you can say I buy books, whatever, but I'll haul your books away for free. You can post ads on Craigslist or locally, maybe in your community, saying, I'm looking, I'll take your books off your hands. You don't have to donate them, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people will take you up on that because books are so many people have books and they're heavy and they just take up space, and people don't want to deal with it with taking it to Goodwill or wherever they would donate it to. So it's a great idea. Either check Craigslist or put some ads out and have a business card, that type of thing. Yeah. So I think if you guys don't have questions or any more comments, I don't know what it is about Monday. Every time I make a video on Monday, there's always so many people, 21 people, which is amazing. Thank you guys and gals for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. Oh, one more thing. I guess I can't really make a whole video about it, but there's a flea market here, not where I live, but in the Rose Bowl, which you guys might be familiar with. Well, everybody's heard of the Rose Bowl, I guess, but because of football and sporting events. But there's a monthly flea market there, every month. And it's pretty, from what I understand, it's pretty large, lots of vendors and lots of people go. I've been reading up on it. There's a couple of videos I found on YouTube where people were filming while they were selling there. There's a bunch of them of people walking around thrifting and buying stuff. And it's a flea market versus a swap meet. So from what I understand, that tends to be a place where you can maybe sell stuff for a little more money, and people might have a little more money to spend and buy more from you. But it's an experiment. They have them every second Sunday of the month. So there's only 12 a year, which I think is a great way of doing it, so that people have to wait a whole month versus doing it every week. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna do it. I need to give them a call and find out. The prices vary as to how much the space would be, but it's more expensive. It's like double the price that the other one was that I did the swap meet a month or so ago. So I'm gonna give it a shot and see. I gotta call them first and find out all the details about the cost of the space and what I'm going to sell and if that's okay and blah blah blah, which it should be, because I think people sell all kinds of stuff there, not just antiques, and a lot of people are selling new stuff and whatnot. So I think it's worth a shot, even though last time I told you guys it was such hard work, physical labor, but being out there a long time and hot and all that stuff. But if I can make some decent profit and move a good amount of stuff, like a good amount of CDs, and put some records that I have and some books out there, and if I can sell a good amount and have a good feedback from people that they like what they see and all that kind of stuff, then it could be worth it, especially if it's just once a month, or since it's just once a month. So I'll see, guys. I'll let you guys know if I end up doing that next month. It would be in about a month, actually, the 14th of October. So we'll see. But thanks for watching, guys. If any of you 20 plus that were here, some of you left, but 18 of you here, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and make sure you get the notifications. There's a little bell you can hit. And I usually make daily videos Monday through Friday, usually in the later afternoon between 4 and 6 on average or in general. I really enjoy the interaction. So if you guys have questions, if you want me to make a video about a certain topic or talk about something in general, I'm happy to do it. I'm doing the live videos because it's just too time consuming to shoot videos and edit them, which is what I was really enjoying doing a couple of years ago, but just not able to do it at this point. But I do enjoy the live ones. It's a great option, alternative. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I got, let me see if anybody actually ever emailed me. I set up an email, a Gmail account. What am I doing? I can just go over here. One second, guys. This is what's fun about being live. Hold on. Let me see if anyone ever, because I got a new email, not new, well, it's a new one, but for my business. Someone did actually email me. Okay, so it's no, sorry guys. So it's just Marshall Bookman at gmail.com. I got no, I mean, who else is gonna have that email, right? So yeah, Marshall Bookman. I think it's on. I put it on my YouTube like about page, but maybe I should put it in the little description box. So yeah, Terry. So if anybody wants to shoot me an email, marshallbookman at gmail.com. So anybody here watching or in the future watching this video, you know, whatever. I mean, if it's about business or whatever, maybe questions you have, there's something you want to talk about a certain video or, you know, whatever it is, if just shoot me an email. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, keep booking.